Hi everyone, it's Leo.
And Irma.
And you're hanging with
The
Realest Realtors. We'll get better at it.
We're trying something new.
Clearly it didn't work. So today's topic, we're going to talk about deposits. Yes, let's talk about it.
So I can just buy buy a house with nothing down, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, people are going to trust you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you need some skin in the game in order to show a seller that you are interested in their home and that you mean business. There's a lot of times that people, I always recommend putting an initial deposit down, which is due at signing, because it just shows them like, hey, I'm willing to put some skin in the game.
Yeah. So in New Jersey, we have something called an initial deposit, which we submit with the contract offer that you're putting in. And that, so you can put it in with the offer. Usually you have technically 3 days after both parties have signed to submit the initial deposit. Then there's also something called an additional deposit. So additional deposit is even more money put down, and it's due technically 10 days after the end of attorney review.
And on top of which, just to let you know, this money is part of your down payment.
Yeah.
It's refunded to you if the deal does not go through for whatever reason, unless you walk away from the deal. That would be the only time you would lose that deposit.
Yeah, so technically there are 3 times when you can walk away and receive your money back, and that's during attorney review. So if you have like a change of heart and you're like, oh my God, no, I really don't want this house, you can walk away during attorney review. By that point, you usually don't even have all of your deposit money in, but if you did, you would get that back.
Yep.
The second time is during inspection period. So if you do your inspections,
that's the fun part.
Or even if you don't do your inspections, but you decide I don't want to buy this house anymore for whatever reason, you can walk away during the inspection period and receive your money back. And then the third time is if the house doesn't appraise. Right?
Correct, yeah.
So if it doesn't appraise, you can always negotiate, something to make the transaction move forward. But if you can't, you can walk away and get your money back. And there's like also like minutia details about like if you're unable to secure financing, you have to be able to show that you did everything that you could to try to get financing and that you didn't like basically lie.
And then also in northern New Jersey, this is a really a great way of strengthening your offer.
Yes.
People may not see it that way, but when you have 4 or 5 offers on a house, sometimes we're looking at, how much money are you putting into the initial? Because, if you're putting very little into the initial, you don't really have much, skin in the game, so to speak. Okay. On top of which, it always goes to the seller's attorney. This is just for their added security. Because if you're, let's say, very close with your lawyer and you're like, I'll get it to you sooner or later, the sellers want to see this in the bank. They want to see it in an escrow account. Yeah. They want to see that you mean business.
Yeah. And what else? I will say that the healthier a deposit you can put down, the healthier a buyer you seem to the seller.
So let me ask you this. So I usually tell my clients to put at least $5,000 down.
At least. I mean, if you
as
have
initial.
You should be able to put it down.
Yeah.
It just shows them, I have the money available, and usually it's a sign that your finances are in good order. You'll be able to obtain financing readily. So it's just a signal, like, I'm in it to win it. Like, I'm serious. And
depending on how much you're going to be putting down, whether 3.5% or 20%, that's when I come in and say, hey, for the additional deposit, we should put X more down. If you're at 20%, I usually ask for them for 5 or 10% minus the initial deposit, just because it looks strong and it gives a sense of security to the seller,
because like the seller, and when you think about it, the seller has a lot of risk involved when they're choosing buyers, so they always want to go, they're looking for the surest thing, the quickest thing, like they want to take the least risk as possible.
Absolutely.
Because there are a lot more protections for a buyer to walk away, but there are very few things for a seller.
Correct. Yeah.
So they're going to always try to just choose the strongest, the best. We had a situation where we got 3 offers and they were basically all the same.
Yeah.
But the one guy, and the closing date was the same.
Yeah. Everything. Literally everything.
The financing was the same.
Yeah.
But the one buyer, he put in, I think he was putting 20% total down payment.
Correct.
And then he came in at about 10%, which was like a lot.
Yeah.
It was like $100,000.
Absolutely.
That sent us a strong signal that they were serious. You know what I mean? So things to think about. We're here to guide you. It's
Absolutely.
every situation is different, but you got to think about these things because if you really want the house, you got to put your best foot forward.
Absolutely. And if you have any additional questions, please reach out to us. Our information's on the next slide.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.